Omar continues to gaslight the American people.
Of the 87 people charged, all but 8 are of Somali descent. And that has added to the spotlight being put specifically on your community. Why do you think this fraud was allowed to get so widespread?
Well, I want to say, this also has an impact on Somalis.
Oh, no.
Also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program.
I think you've benefited enough.
And so it's been really frustrating for people to not acknowledge the fact that we're also, as Minnesotans, as taxpayers.
No, you're not. 75% of you are on welfare.
And angry about the fraud that has occurred.
You're not that upset. You seem to be playing the victim. Don't accuse the all but 8 people. Jacob Frey is probably the white one because he's getting kickbacks. Don't stop calling out the Somalian behavior and talking about negatively about Somalians who are not only funneling billions of dollars in fraud, they're lying about the kids with autism, they're lying about feeding children, they're taking all that money, 75% of them on welfare, and then God forbid we call them out. It's like, well, they're paying taxes. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not paying taxes. They're defrauding the American people. Face the Nation with CBS. Sorry, guys. I got a little passionate about Ilhan Omar. Don't cut any of this out. Ilhan Omar on the possible link to Somali terrorism. They're terrorists too?
The Treasury Secretary just now talked about a link to terrorism. A possible link. He said they're just now beginning to look into it. How confident are you that that's a false claim?
Let me guess, confident.
I'm pretty confident at the moment because
there you go.
There are people who have been prosecuted and who have been sentenced. If there was a linkage in that the money that they have stolen going to terrorism, then that is a failure of the FBI and our court system in not figuring that out and basically charging them.
Okay, so if Somalians are funding terror, it is not the Somalians' fault. Remember, if they steal $8 billion in tax dollars, it's actually not their fault. It's the fact that we don't have enough regulations and we don't manage the money good enough. And then if they're funding terrorism, I'm just trying to do the mental gymnastics. It's not bad. It's actually the FBI needs to do a better job at stopping the funding of terrorism. Am I getting all this correct? It's been quite a morning. Ilhan Omar claims President Trump highlighting the massive Somali fraud scandal in Minnesota and the questions around it, marrying her brother, are just an unhealthy and creepy obsession.
We feel like there is an unhealthy obsession that he has on the Somali community and an unhealthy and creepy obsession that he has with me.
No, we all hate you guys. It's not just Trump. We're all obsessed with, I don't know, I understand. I've seen documents that say you married your brother on paper. So I don't, once again, if this was a Republican, it would be very different. I don't think it's an unhealthy obsession. I think you married your brother. I think you were making negative $65,000. Now you're making $30 million. And I want to know why. I want to know why all the Somalians are here. I want to know why they don't contribute. They don't have jobs. 75% are on welfare. And how did you make $30 million? Where's that coming from? $8 billion fraud. Did you have any part of that fraud? Is that part of where your $30 million came from? You guys come here. You don't contribute. Your food looks disgusting. And I don't like the way you dance, and I don't like the fact that I can't understand you when you're talking, even though it's some sort of broken English. None of us like any of this. You are stealing from Americans, and as Americans, we all hate you, and we will not stop until all of this is looked into, and you are hopefully deported. Does that sum it up? Ilhan Omar says expecting immigrants to assimilate to American society and adopt American values reminds her of the Nazis.
I want to ask you about something else that the architect of the president's immigration policy, Stephen Miller, said. On Thanksgiving Day, he posted, "No magic transformation occurs when failed states cross borders. At scale, migrants and their descendants recreate the conditions and terrors of their broken homelands." What do you make of this argument? of failure to assimilate and sort of ruining America. How do you understand this?
Well, Stephen Miller's right.
About Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric.
Oh, yes.
It reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people in Germany. And
no, they were not upset with Jewish people because they were not assimilating to the German culture. They did not like Jewish people. They saw them as below rats, and they wanted them 100% eliminated. There is quite literally nothing in common with those things at all. By the way, this whole calling everyone Nazis and people like Stephen Miller for making accurate statements about things, I'm like, the irony of calling Nazis like they're the worst people ever, and they were, but then it's like you make Nazis seem like they're just really amazing, reasonable people. That's the funniest thing. By using this over and over, you make Nazis just seem like a modern day fucking libertarian. That's what's so insane. He's saying that people go places like Somalians and they don't assimilate and they bring over their same BS they left behind and they make places just like those places. That is a fact. That is why Dearborn, Michigan looks the way it does, and it's disgusting. That's why the UK looks the way it does. It looks disgusting. That's why we see a lot of people from India, Pakistan, all these places. They go there and they make their new place the same shithole that they left. It's dirty. It's gross. They're not contributing. Because you know what's funny? If they came here and they assimilated, we wouldn't be having these conversations and issues, but also they wouldn't be making the places they're going third world shitholes. If these people are so great and they contributed so much, then why are they coming from shitholes? If it's filled with all people and cultures like that, not all cultures are equal. Some are better. Some contribute more, okay? If you're coming from sticks in a wood hut and you're coming to the UK and you're putting up your little hut with sticks, the same way Somalians are being like, well, we didn't know we couldn't rape girls, so we didn't know that was not part of the culture here. You're not contributing. Everything he said is factually correct, and the UK is a perfect example. It's disgusting. You walk around and they're dirty, they're smelly, they're making their nasty food. They they're assaulting women. They're like, oh, well, I didn't know. Yeah, you know why they can do the bullshit if they didn't know? Because Democrats and liberal ideology. Because if Republicans were here, we'd be like, no. You leave all that behind. You assimilate. If you don't think you need to go back, we wouldn't allow that behavior. The Democrats allow that behavior. They allow them to come here and be like, well, I didn't know I couldn't rape 13-year-old girls. And then God forbid you call them out. Yeah, you're called a Nazi. No one cares anymore. Every day I'm called a new name. You know what? I'm all of those things and much worse, okay? The name calling doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. Oh, they're like Nazis. Okay, so Nazis were just rational people who wanted people to come to their country and just accept their values and not be shitting in the street and molesting girls. Okay, then so be it, Ilhan Omar. Scott Besson on the Somali fraud and Ilhan Omar.
Representative Omar tried to downplay it, said, oh, it was very, it was very tough to know how this money should be used. Yeah. She was gaslighting the American people.
Well, we'll talk to her.
Yeah, but when you come to this country, you got to learn which side of the road to drive on. You got to learn to stop the signs, and you got to learn not to defraud the American people.
You have to learn that? Wait a minute. So when I go to the UK, does someone sit me down and they're like, so you can't defraud our government and the people here? What do you mean? I mean, obviously he's right about the beginning, but what the fuck happens towards the end? We have to teach people that they're not allowed to take advantage of us? Well, how's that going? I mean, how's it going when the Democrats are like, no, come here and just do whatever you want and everything's free, and Republicans are the bad guys. They don't want you here, so make sure you vote in our elections, which is happening. Make sure you vote against them. That's so crazy. The only countries left on this planet I want to visit are the ones that don't allow migrants and don't allow immigration. They're the white ones. I'm sorry. The list of places I want to travel every year, just very slim. It's very slim. What seems good that we reviewed? Poland. Poland seems great. They're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. Japan seems great because they don't tolerate any of that shit. Yeah, they don't have, black women popping off in public the way we have here. By the way, yesterday, going to walk my dog. We live in a nice area, okay? And, side street, it's a bunch of black women with ski masks, tits out. It smells like weed. They're shooting a music video. And I'm like, God, can you guys just one day. Just stop fitting the stereotypes. I go, anything but work. Anything but a job. Anything but work. I mean, smoking weed, there's children around. It's like we're in a nice neighborhood. Like, how much money do I have to make to get away from it? That's what I want to know. I lived in the hood. I lived in shithole downtown for 8 years. It's like, God, how much money if they can just come film on my street their fucking rap music video? Out of control, you guys.